Hello, let's start with dynamic programming. As we are done with recursion, so it's time to begin with dynamic programming. So let's begin. Firstly, dynamic programming is an optimization technique. If we have something to cache, then you should go for the dynamic programming. So here, we actually break down large problem into the small problems and then we solve each sub problem only once. And then by using it multiple times, we can finally get an output for the large problem. As we have seen in the recursion, sometimes we are actually implementing the same logic again and again. And due to that, the number of execution is quite large that we need not to do. By using dynamic programming, we will catch the particular result and we will use it multiple times. So due to that, the things will be much faster. Let's understand dynamic programming with an example. So here we have the simple program where we are adding 80 to our number. Let's try to write this code in our Visual Studio and see the answer. Here, firstly I will zoom up my window and there I will write a function to add up number 80. Add to 80. And here I will pass num as the parameter. And inside that I will simply return num plus 80. And outside I will simply call this function. So console.log and there I will write add to 80 and here I will pass 55. And then I will go to the browser. As we are able to see, the answer is coming perfectly 135. If I will execute this operation 3 more times, then again 135 will come. But if I will write here something called as console.log taking long time. So here we are able to see it is taking long time every time. But we don't want this. We want our function to take long time only once, and for the second and third time it should be faster enough. And it should store it inside the cache. So actually there we will use the concept of dynamic programming. Here we have code for that. So firstly we will create a variable for storing the cache result. And then inside, firstly we will check if number is already existing inside the cache. So we will return that particular result. If it is not existing, then firstly we will compute the result. Then we will push it inside our cache and finally we will return it so that it can be used for the next time. So here now we will write our memoized function. So function memoize add to 80. And there I will pass num. And this time I will create cache variable to store the result. So let cache is equal to empty object in the beginning. Inside that, firstly I will check if num is already existing inside our cache. So I will write cache and there num is existing. If it is existing, then we will simply return cache of num. Okay. Otherwise, if it is not existing here, so what we will do? So firstly, we will compute the result. So we will write let ans is equal to num plus 80. And then we will store it inside our cache. So cache of num is equal to ans. And then we will return our answer. And this time we will call this memoize to 80 function. So here I will replace add to 80 by memoize to 80. Okay. And here I will again do console.log. And here I will write taking long time. Taking long time. Let's go to the browser now. As we are able to see, it is taking long time only for the first time, not for the second and third time. So in this way, the memoization works. But one important thing to note, although the memoize makes the thing faster, but it results in taking large amount of the memory. So it is the single disadvantage. So if you have lots of memory, you can go for memoization. So with this, we will sum up this video tutorial. But yes, we will surely meet in our next video tutorial, where we will see how we can implement memoization for our Fibonacci series. Thank you very much for now. Let's meet in our next video tutorial.